Shalom Israel. First and foremost, we give all praises, all honor, and all glory to be held by Shemel Shai, by Shem Kakadash, the one of the apostles, and else we have also teach us this truth. Peace and blessings to all of Israel, and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Father in Hebrew. By Shem means the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the unbegotten Son. Back on the lesson, and today going to be going to this pagan holiday, Thanksgiving, as you see in this video right here. But it's going to go into how it originally started and what this pagan holiday is really about. Because as you see, they'll put this into your schools and tell you all the Native Americans, these devils, had a feast and rejoiced, partied together. Well, that's not what it's really about. So when you look at the history of it and how it truly started, you'll see right here.
Title history behind Thanksgiving. Do you know why we celebrate it? It's not the Pilgrims and the Indians that met in 1621. That was the Wampanoag who investigated settlers and pilgrims shooting off guns. And they just were shooting guns because they were celebrating not having starved to death. But the reason that the Thanksgiving holiday is celebrated every year is in 1637, a white man was discovered dead in a boat. So what happened? English major decided that he'd blame the Pequots. So they burned 400 men, women, and children to death. The next day, Plymouth Mayor William Bradford came out and said, let's celebrate this day of Thanksgiving for this victory we have won. And that's what we celebrate every year. Check out my article, 6 Myths of Thanksgiving by Vince Schilling. Check it out. That's what we celebrate, a bloody day. Did you...
Thankskilling. It's not a, holiday about giving thanks, what you're grateful for, because that's what they'll, teach you and, make you, do homework on, in schools. Back then when, I was what you're grateful for, who you're thankful for, this and that. But in reality, this is what it's really about. Because these devils like to, sweep things under the rug and make it seem like they didn't do anything. As you see right here, it's just, completely, swept under the rug. You still have our people today not knowing, what they're really taking part in and celebrating. As you see with Christmas, Easter, and all these different pagan holidays that you see today. Jake has no clue, what they're following. But when you tell him the truth, and what they're really celebrating and taking part in, you're looking into it too deep. You're crazy. I just want to eat my food. Well, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for my own reason. You're still taking part in these pagan holidays, man. And Yahweh Shai especially told us to not follow the way of the heathen. But let's get a little bit more information on it. It's a site basically going to the origin of it and how it started. It says a Penobscot Indian and former chair of the anthropology department of the University of Connecticut claims that the first Thanksgiving was not a festive gathering of Indians and pilgrims, but rather a celebration of the massacre of 700 Pequot men, women, and children. Which in the video said 400, but gotta be careful to pick the meat from the bones. So get a little bit down here, see what else we can get. So they attacked. Mercenaries of the English and Dutch surrounded the village. They attacked, began burning down everything in the camp, and proceeded to shoot, stab, butcher, burn alive, and shoot whomever tried to escape, which were 700 people total. The next day, Newell notes the governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving, thanking God that they have eliminated over 700 men, women, and children. It was signed into a law that this day fourth shall be a day of celebration, Thanksgiving, for subduing the Pequots. In the ensuing madness of the Indian extermination, natives were scalped, burned, mutilated, and sold into slavery, and a feast was held in celebration every time a successful massacre took place. So this is what you're really taking part in and celebrating, man. You're not giving thanks, what you're grateful for. You're taking part in a celebration of them killing our people, man. Which is the tribe of Gad, the Americans. What they can call them today, but it's the tribe of Gad. And a feast was held in celebration every time a successful massacre took place. So you see just how wicked these devils are. and that they're liars, as you see in Psalm 55:21, and I believe Psalm 58:3, going to how the devil is a liar, man. Never trust thine enemies. I mean, these devils try to sweep everything that they do under the rug and make it seem like they didn't do anything. And you also have our people, even after hearing the truth, trying to forgive these devils, trying to, get on these devils' good side and be treated equal to them, which it's entirely impossible to be treated equal to these devils. Esau, Edom. Yahweh Shai chose us, the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes, to be above all nations that are upon the face of the earth. So it's impossible to be equal to these devils and to these heathen nations, man. But people change, this and that. Well, Yahweh Shai set up this devil to be the wicked, to be the bad guy, man. This devil will never change. But let's get to the scriptures. So now you got the origin of it and how it, really started. There's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2-4. It said, Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So Yahweh says, learn not the way of the heathen. We're not supposed to be taking part in these heathen customs, these pagan holidays that you see today. For example, Christmas, Easter. When you go into Easter, you're worshiping a false god. Christmas, an idol. You're offering gifts, onto a tree, which is more to it also. That'll be another lesson pretty soon. And etc., man. But when you truly look into what you're, taking part in and celebrating, it's just complete and utter wickedness, man. And we shouldn't be taking part in them anyway. I just see right here, thus say the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. It also goes with, these, tattoos. I see with, Samoans, I believe that they're called. They have like tattoos or whatever. Certain haircuts you're not supposed to have. Hairstyles. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. These heathen should be, shook and afraid at these signs, these prophecies. Verse 3 says, for the customs of the people are vain. Their customs. Their pagan holidays, their philosophies. It says, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe, which this goes into Christmas right here. So for the custom of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest. And what do you see in the movies, and what do you see people do? They go pick a tree, they chop it down, they put it on their truck, and they bring it home. So the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. Let's get a bit more. So they deck it with silver and with gold. And what does that sound like? Ornaments. They come in different colors, silver, gold. They fasten it with nails and hammer it that it move not. What also do you have? You have stands to, put your tree on so it doesn't move. I mean, come on. Let's see what this said. They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they not can do evil. Neither also them to do good. But pretty much got the main point, which was verse 2. So thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Just to prove that point right there, that we're not supposed to be taking part in these pagan holidays and these customs. Let's continue on. It says, book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21-23 says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Yahweh Shai hates, your feast days, man, these pagan holidays. Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols. So you see right there, Yahweh Shai hates these pagan holidays. And he especially told us to not take part in them, as you see in Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. But you still have our people. You're looking into it too deep. What are you, a conspiracy theorist? But guess what, I'm doing it for my own reason, this and that. You're just giving excuses, man. Because our people want to continue to take part in wickedness and do whatever they want without consequence. Book of Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. It's going down. It says, for if he sinned willfully after that we received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. So if you continue to walk on in wickedness and not take heed to these warnings that you have received, as you see right here, for we sin willfully after we received the knowledge of the truth. So if what you've been told that what you've been doing is wrong, that you're not supposed to be eating pork, that we have a dietary law to follow, and that we have, that we're not supposed to be taking part in these pagan holidays, and y'all that continue to disregard these warnings that Yahweh Shai has given you through his men, you will be destroyed, man. It says, for every sin willfully, after they receive knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. So you're willfully sinning and breaking these laws, statutes, and commandments, you will be destroyed. Because you're doing it purposely, and you will be held responsible for your actions. It's plain and simple. It says 1 John chapter 3 verse 4 says, to go into sin, it says, whosoever committed sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So sin is the breaking of the law. See, even, Christians don't even know this, man. You can just walk up to a random Christian and say, what is sin? And they can't tell you, man. Because they don't got it. They don't understand the scriptures, man. But that just, goes more into, how it says, whosoever committed sin, whosoever committed sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So you sinning is breaking the law. So it says, for we sin willfully after receiving knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. So you'll be held responsible and destroyed for your wickedness, man. Because Isaiah chapter 62 verse 6 says, I've set watchmen upon thy walls. O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Ye that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silence. So Yahweh Shai set up watchmen, which are the prophets, that you see on the highways and byways, and that are making these lessons. That are consistently and constantly warning you. What do watchmen do? They set up, on towers, warn the people of, if an army is coming, or, warn the people of, what is coming, danger, sound the alarm, ringing that bell, warning the people of what's coming. It's what Yahweh Shai has said to the prophets to do. So I've set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Ye that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silence. So Yahweh Shai said watchmen, which are the prophets that have been constantly warning you day and night, man. So y'all that want to continue to disregard these warnings that you have been receiving, through the prophets, through the spirit and prophet Yahweh Shai, you will be destroyed, man. It's because Isaiah chapter 58 verse 1, it says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. So it's, cry aloud, spare not. So you have like emotional jakes out there, taking it to heart when they get rebuked, and, they get emotional when they, hear certain topics. Well, it says, spare not. It says, lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression. Let's get the word transgression. It said, offense, crime, sin. So where you're going off at? To lead you in the correct path. That you're not supposed to be eating pork. That you're not supposed to be taking part in these heathen customs. That we have a dietary law to follow. Come on. And the house of Jacob, their sins. So where you're going off at, and lead you in the correct path, man. But you have a lot of our people still continue to do whatever they want because they don't fear Yahweh Shai, man. They don't see any consequence in the things that they do. As Skip says, even for my people are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have knowledge. Our people are destroyed, man. And they will be destroyed for their wickedness. But pretty much it on the lesson. I see right there, just made a quick lesson going to this pagan holiday. And you're not really celebrating what you really think you are. When you look into the history and the origin of how these pagan holidays really started, it's just complete and utter wickedness, man. A lot of it has to do with idols, worshiping false gods, and ultimately we're not supposed to be taking part in these heathen customs anyway. But it's pretty much in a lesson. Lord wants to edify and close out when he give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakadash, that one of the apostles, and all the good millstone teaching us this truth. Peace and blessings to all of Israel, and Shalom. See you next one.